are not allowed to have full access to their feelings. Can I give y'all a great example of that? We in the house, me and my wife, she's pregnant, and my, at the time, 4-year-old daughter sleep in her room. It's 3 a.m. And we hear, woo, 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 woo. The alarm goes off in my house. So I pop up. I could blame me on me, you know. I got 30 in the mag. Boom. Hit that charger hand. Game, I'm ready. I go downstairs, I'm checking all the rooms, my heart beating like crazy. I check the living room, we good. I check the kitchen, we good. I walk into the basement, man, my finger trembling a little bit, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Go to the basement, I peek around the last corner. The wind opened the door to the garage, messed up the sensor. Closed the joint, locked it. Whew. Sat down for a little bit, let my nerves chill, and I said, wait a minute, I just realized something. Fear is a human emotion. 2 of us were scared that night. Only one of us had permission to feel that. I couldn't be afraid to the point of inaction. Because if all of us were murdered in that house, first thing people would have said is why he didn't protect his family. Why he allowed those things to happen to him. What happens to a human being who's not allowed to feel the full scope of their emotions? How does that work? How do you function?
So you got the good gist, right?
A little bit, yeah.
You didn't catch it.
I call it a little bit.
You need to watch it again.
About did you say something about an alarm went off or something?
Mm-hmm. Alarm went off in the house.
Yeah.
And he jumps up.
With his gun and all this. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was basically saying that two of them were scared that night, but only one was allowed to feel those emotions.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let me know if you want me to run it back. Boy.
No, I heard enough, I think.
Let's see. That's all you need, huh?
I think so.
You got it. All right.
I think
Let's
so.
dive in.
You?
I mean,
You done heard it before.
You know, I didn't study the game tape.
Yeah.
But just the emotional side of because most men we're wired. I mean, hardwired that way. To like, if anything goes down in this house, I guarantee you, it's not gonna be my wife to get up. It's gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like even in just providing for the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess today's topic is, are men supposed to be the provider of the house? Ooh.
Well, I thought you was talking about emotions too now.
I know, because they all go together.
Okay.
But if you... Okay, I'm jumping ahead. Let me dial that back. Let me pull that back. And then go fish and give me that back. All right, yeah. But are men supposed to be the provider of the house? I had to learn this the hard way.
I believe that, well, biblically, they are supposed to be the provider. But I don't think that it doesn't say that the woman can't provide too. Because after all, God gave us a helpmate.
Did.
Now, if you can take care of everything, that's great. But most of us are not able to do that when we first get married.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we have to look at and consider prior to marrying, so that you can be in that position.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you got to really know who you're marrying.
Definitely.
And in that sense, then you know what kind of how your wife is going to respond to what you do or don't do.
Gotcha.
You know, some go in there with the, some of them want to quote the Bible about it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the head. You supposed.
Yeah.
I think men, being married, I think men, God ultimately hold them responsible.
For sure.
But I'm not so sure if he's supposed to or he have to provide everything.
Mm-hmm.
If he has the means to do that, all well and good. But if he don't, then he should be helped. Even if he can do it, she still can help.
Gotcha.
You know, at least take care of what you doing or whatever. But I think basically the main bills and things of the house, I think the man should be if you're in that position.
I love that you said all of those things. I love it.
Go ahead. I see you. I see you coming.
I love it. Let me start from the emotional side of the video that we were just watching within itself. To me, he showed he's able to provide protection, right? Mm-hmm. Most women want to feel safe with their significant other. They want to feel embraced. They want to feel like if anything goes on, look, I got a Rambo or whatever action dude you feel for my old heads. I got a Denzel who's an equalizer, 1, 2, and 3. They like to feel that that security. I would call it security blanket, right?
Yeah.
But that same feeling that he has, which is fear, he said it himself that it's two of us that has the fear, but only one is allowed to actually really, number one, feel this fear, and then also still do what needs to be done, right? I'm not gonna do that one because there's a lot of laws out here, so we gotta
don't do
stay
that.
within the the guidelines. But I'm sure anybody who has taken a life, it's not an easy task, right?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not an easy task. I don't care who you are. Like
you gotta take some type of.
It takes some type of
toll on you.
Yeah, because even if somebody was to, enter this, like my thing is never to take a person's life, but my thing is also I will protect these grounds at the best of my ability and with whatever I have. So I get what he's talking about. Now, these emotions and these feelings, we've never been like we've never had permission to feel these feelings. We've never had because we always say, "What you scared for? Stop being so scared. What you crying for? Stop that crying. Man up." But these are the same emotions that as a provider you need.
Oh yeah. Well, I think to begin with, even talking about the simpler thing of crying.
Yeah.
We're taught not to cry.
Mm-hmm.
When we were growing up. Suck it up.
It shut our faucet off quick.
Yeah.
You better not cry.
So that's why those emotions are locked up in us, most cases. because we have not had the permission from the beginning
Mm.
that it's okay.
Yeah.
See, so what you're saying to me is I cannot cry and still be a man.
So
That's what you're saying.
or be a human.
Yeah.
These are human
Well,
emotions.
and see, they don't even put the human part in it. You know, you the man. You know, why you scared?
Right.
Well, I'm fearful that my life might be taken.
Exactly.
Now, if it's taken, it's taken, but I have that fear still.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes when we have, in situations like that, when we have that fear, it helps us not to be so quick to do something we're going to regret.
Yeah. Speak, because you had a lot of, you've dealt with a lot of males, mentees, and different other stuff that like that, right?
Yeah.
What happens to a person who has these emotions and all they and I've heard you talk about it so long, even with myself. You take these emotions and you just pack them down. You packing them down. So over the years, we talking about, for me, I think by the time I got to you, we're talking about over 20 something years of packing down.
Or more.
What does that do to, you can say a man, but as a person, what does that do?
Well, I think the first thing to do, it affects your health.
True.
It affects your health, and you will become a person who will complain about hurting and pain and stuff, physical pain and stuff, but yet the doctors can't find nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
And it's all this junk that we got. And it's a lot of stuff that because we've been taught not to express it.
Definitely.
From the get-go. You know, it's kind of like when I was growing up, you know, they were bad about whipping you back then.
Yeah.
And you get 3 whippings for the same thing.
Three.
Yeah, because back in the day, if your neighbor caught you doing something, they can whip you. They call your parents. Your mama whoop you. And when your dad get home, if he's in the home, he whip you.
That's it. I see why y'all were pretty good kids compared to right now. y'all had a line of whoopings to go through.
You get 3 whippings for the same offense.
Wow.
But if you start crying, shut up, just shut up. And then
as they whooping you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone shut up as you whooping me?
But then if you don't cry,
God,
if you stand there and you know,
you just all confused.
They just keep beating you until you do cry.
You just all confused.
You know? Yeah. So from the beginning we are taught to suck it up.
Man.
You know, little baby trying to walk. He fall, hurt himself. That's all right, get up, try it again, get up. Instead of saying, okay, I know that's hurt. It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll get better. Then, you know, but now we tell them, you know, you sit up, get on up, try walking again.
Yeah.
You'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
You know? So it can cause you to be ill, physically ill. It can cause you not to do well in relationships.
Seen it.
It will cause you to, because what you do is you continue to pack stuff down. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, you, right there. You know, you keep packing it down, and the ones that you're angry with is not there, but somebody else could say something. You could hear something on TV.
Yeah.
Or the radio.
Triggers.
That triggers you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, people who ain't got nothing to do with all of that hurt, you explode on them.
I remember being so angry at a point in my life, and that's why I think for me, like, my son's mothers, like I give them kudos because at the roughest time of my life and not really knowing me, like I was a pretty violent dude. Like not only violent but temper wise, it was nothing for me to fly off the handle.
Yeah, it's short.
Like, look.
Real short.
Like I'm here now. Like what they call that wit. Like mine was very short. It didn't take that much to burn. And I remember just putting holes through walls. I remember putting holes through. Yeah, I was bad. Like I was doors. Like I just remember just punching everything of how angry I was, and it was just a lot of stuff that I did not deal with. I was mad as hell at my dad.
Yeah, but see, that was your legitimate way.
Yeah.
Of dealing with it without, which was inappropriate.
Yeah, it was.
To begin with. But that was your only way you knew that I could get it out. And actually, really, it was a notice to other folk, don't say nothing to me.
Don't cross this line.
Don't say nothing to me.
And it was.
You know, don't say nothing to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up on you in a minute.
You see what I just did to this door, right?
You just saw that. Then, all right. Take notice. So nobody corrects that behavior.
Did not.
Because now we fearful.
Because I did it for years.
And we don't take no responsibility for it as parents with our kids growing up.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I think it's that. You don't do well in relationships. And not just with the female, but you don't do well relationship with anybody unless they the same way.
Common ground.
Yeah.
You angry? I'm angry too.
So if I come up to you, but you got a buddy who's the same way, what you want to talk to me about? I ain't got nothing to say to you. Who you? You know?
Yeah.
So, but somebody else that you don't even know at the school or whatever come up and start talking to you because you see the traits. You see they got what you got.
Yeah.
You see how they acting.
Hold up real quick. Jay! Hey, Jacob! Just changed his name. His name is Jacob. Adjust Pop's mic to be closer on this way.
Maybe I didn't turn the table around right or something. I don't know.
What happens, Pops? You know.
Okay.
You just getting here, man. Don't worry about it. Things get better over time.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Nice cut, man. Did you right. Hit you with the razor?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You tipping good? All right. Praise God, man. Bless your ministry, man. But, you know, just dealing with different emotions. And so I say to myself, and, you know, watching this guy talk about this whole story, and I'm like, man, how can men provide on a higher level if their emotions are not in check?
Right. Right.
It's such a disaster, not only for himself, but for the whole family.
But he don't see no reason to have to do that.
Wow.
Because if he don't see a reason to have to do that, he already angry at life. He's been put in this predicament and he don't know how to get out of it. See, by the same token, even if you move it to there's a book, a lady from Macon, Georgia, I can't remember the name, I got it at home somewhere, about men cry too. And it's like if you married, you have a child to pass, everybody comfort the mother.
And do.
They don't say nothing to the daddy.
That's facts.
They don't say nothing to him. Like it ain't his child.
That's true facts.
But everybody's around that mama.
Why is that?
And they just were hugging her and it's gonna be all right, baby. It's gonna be all right. Ain't saying nothing to the man. And he's suffering in silence.
And he is.
It's his child too.
Which would make him put up a crazy wall.
Yes.
To guard himself and protect himself, because he feels like even though he lost a child, who cares?
Yeah. Then he'll start smoking.
True. Oh yeah.
Cigarettes.
Devices. Yeah.
So then cigarettes don't take the pain away. Then he'll get something stronger. He might start smoking weed.
Man, kush.
He still needs something else. So he'll drink and smoke weed. Because he's trying to deal with the pain because nobody helped him. Even the mother don't help him in many cases.
Wow, yeah.
But I birthed him. I carried him for them 9 months. And
got a lot of
but
women.
I gave you the seed.
You got a lot of women mad at you right now.
That's okay. You'll get over it. You'll be all right. But you know I'm telling the truth.
It is.
You know I'm telling the truth. Yeah. But you act just like that ain't his child.
Right.
But everybody caters to the woman.
And it does.
Nobody go and ask that man, is there anything I can do for you? How can I help you?
I think the crazy part is that I felt like that before. So I think when we lost our child, it was only a few that came and said, hey man, are you okay? And it was like, I'm not okay. Like being honest, like, no, like, yeah. I lost a child too. Like,
yeah.
But the uplift wasn't really on me like that. And most women would say, well, to me, a loss is a loss.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
It's not about measuring pain. It's not about measuring this, but it's literally about a loss. A life loss is one of the most painful things to anybody who loves, period. So in that state, I didn't feel that. It was only, I could probably count on one hand who checked, are you good?
But this is the other thing. Some people, such as myself, didn't even know all that had happened. After the fact, I heard bits and pieces of stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody never really. So I didn't come and say anything because, well, man.
Right.
I didn't want to come and say that.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough information to even address it.
Yeah.
So it was better for me not to even address it.
Yeah.
So how you feeling, man?
You ask me now how I feel?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I mean, how I feel now, I have my days where a lot of times it get tough.
This just don't go away.
Like sometimes I avoid like toddler areas.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's a trigger to me. Like if I see a light-skinned baby or light-skinned boy on TV, I'm like, man, that could have been, booty bop, 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 boo, bop. You know what I'm saying? Could have been, me. I was like, man, that looked like a combination me and my wife. So at that time, it was tough. Even it depends on the day. One thing about me is that I'm so locked in on, like my kids I have here. I put a lot of energy into them because they're here. So my little one that's gone, it's days that's up, and I give myself permission to feel those feelings. Sometimes I'll go in the office, mom, and be like, "How you doing, son?" I'm giving myself permission to feel today. It's just, I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm just processing everything today.
So I'm gonna ask you this because it's gonna help somebody out there. Knowing that I've talked to you before, that I've helped you through some stuff with your dad.
Yeah.
What was your reason for not coming and sharing that with me?
I think at that time, not sharing it still was a process because it was like a fresh wound. Because for me, I was known for having kids. Like, like I have kids in my sleep. So, so for me to have kids, yes, no problem. I'm about 100% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So when that happened, it was such a gut punch. Because to me, thought everything was going to go through. Everything was going to be cool. It's just going to be like any other time. But when it didn't happen, it was such a big shock to me.
Yeah.
It was such a huge, like, wow.
Yeah.
It took my breath away for quite a while. And I went into a place, I don't want to say a dark place, but a place of just like kind of just conversating with the father of, okay, what's, I have my conversations of why, not understanding. And I always get to the point where I'm like, maybe down the line, it probably was worse. Because I always feel like God protects us.
Oh, yeah.
God's no or something not happening is always to our benefit.
Yeah.
Like he never lets us go through some things that we cannot handle. And that's the only thing that literally had me even lift my head. Because for a while, like, sometimes I'll just go in the bathroom and just start crying. And I would go be driving, crying.
Yeah.
But this is just me feeling this emotion. So in the first onsite, I didn't know how to put the words together to say, hey, look, like I'm used to old people dying, but I wasn't used to something this fresh, something this new being lost. So it's like, how do you say, oh yeah, the baby didn't make it? And the crazy part is, I think probably like a couple weeks after it all had happened, we had to go to the place to make sure everything was good, different other stuff like that. Where I work at, they were like, hey, you gotta do a delivery today. I'm like, okay, no problem, cool. So I get in the truck. Me and my brother go do this delivery. The delivery is at the same spot where we found out the news and where we had to go ahead and, just so happened. And I literally told my brother, I said, man, I can't go in. And I stayed in the truck. And just dealt with my emotions, began to cry, and a lot of times it took me a while.
So they didn't know what was going on.
Who? My brother and stuff? Oh, they knew. I told him why. I was like, man, because it was like a flashback of everything.
Yeah. Well, it refreshed it.
Yeah.
It was like it just happened.
Open that womb up again.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of times, I don't avoid that street now because it's just me. I feel like if you don't deal with it, you can't deal. If you don't deal with it, you can't heal from it.
You can't.
And the thing is, like, you won't get over it.
Now, you will get better than what you are initially.
Yeah.
But you will always remember it.
Definitely.
So it's not something you're going to easily forget.
Nah.
But I think the thing of it is that that's the part that we have to get over. And I'm not sure what the folks who spoke to you, other men who spoke to you at that time.
I think it was you and Dad.
don't know if I don't remember.
You did.
Did I?
I remember. Yep.
Because I didn't know what was going on at first until, I'm not real nosy to ask a lot of questions. I feel like if people want me to know, they'll tell me, especially if they talking about it or whatever. But, so you now understand what it is.
Yeah.
And why it's important to deal with both parents.
Yeah.
Not just one.
That's facts. Yeah.
You got to deal with both.
Have to.
Because you can't say that doesn't affect that man.
Mm-hmm.
See, this thing about being strong, that crap is out the window.
Glad you said crap.
Yeah, I had to get close to
you
it.
go Baptist on the brother.
Yeah. That's out the window.
Yeah.
And I want people to say, it's like, I remember this guy, I was doing some work at this church, local church here, and the guy, son was killed. They went over to the house, and the dad found him in the middle of the floor, murdered.
See, that's tough.
He was like 16 or so, something like that, or 15, 16, something like that. And out of all of the people who came to see them, I'm the only person talked to him. Even the pastors didn't talk to him. Everybody dealt with the mama. Everybody. So, at the funeral, and I already had schooled him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let nobody come tell you that you don't need to cry.
Yeah.
See? So I stayed close by. So I had to tell one of the ushers, don't tell him that. Let him cry if he wants to.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. Don't say that to folks.
Yeah. One of the worst advice you can give.
You know so-and-so with one. How you know? People got to stop telling folks that.
Yeah.
And when people start crying, that's not a cue to give folks a tissue right away.
Yeah. You always taught me that one.
Let them get it out. They got to get it out.
Yeah.
That's not something you can just cut off. And it will cut off, though, once you give them, because you interrupted that feeling. So you cut it off. You may never get them back to that point again.
Yeah. And
they got to get that stuff out. Let them cry. They'll be all right.
You're big on that. Oh,
yeah. I get really upset with folks. I'm telling y'all, ushers, if y'all don't learn how to deal with folks going through grief, this is a serious thing. People got to understand they don't need a tissue right then.
Yeah.
Like a lot of folks, when they cry, they may even say, well, I don't want to mess up. I don't care. The shirt can be washed.
Yeah, I said that to you.
Go. Do what you got to do. It can be washed.
Yeah.
Come on now. We have too many young men messed up with this.
Being locked up behind it. Yeah.
Because they just angry.
Yeah.
And you happen to be the one to say the wrong thing and trigger. That's what I mean by packing it down. But one day something's going to trigger that.
Yeah.
I hated to hear stuff on TV about fathers and how their sons and all were. My dad ain't never done nothing like that. He was just there. We didn't do nothing together.
Yeah, sound like mine.
Not one single thing.
We drank together. That was it.
But I didn't drink with him. That's just, because I didn't go to the places he went to. And he would take his look out in the backyard back there, dig holes
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
old stash, you said.
And then forget where he got him and swore we got him. We ain't even seen him. You know, that kind of stuff. But we didn't have that. I was so ashamed of him.
Wow.
In terms of when he would get drunk. My few friends, male friends, I didn't have a problem with them coming because they daddy did the same thing.
Wow.
And they all kind of hung together. Never brought a girl home for my family to meet. I didn't want to get embarrassed.
How'd it make you feel?
Embarrassed. Hurt.
Mm.
Get my father in the house.
Right.
And they doing that with me. So I didn't know which was worse. The one that wasn't in the house.
Or the one that's
the one
in the house. Wow. Yeah.
You know? And so I had to come to realize I was an adult. Because I was really ashamed to talk about him. Because of him.
You was ashamed to talk about him?
I ain't talked to folks about my dad.
Wow.
And you better not come and say nothing to me about it. You know, that I saw your dad, he was up there drunk. I said, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Don't talk to me about that. You know, tell me something I don't know.
Right.
And it took me until I became an adult to make a decision that I'm not in control how he acts.
Mm-hmm.
That is not my job. I can't control him.
Yeah.
I didn't have no choice in who my father was going to be. So I had to accept him as he was.
You ever find out what his father was like?
That was the only regret I have. Because it was years after that I realized that was the reason why my father was drinking like that.
Mm.
Plus my father had been in World War II.
Okay.
So I'm sure he saw some things. My father really didn't know his family. We by chance found some family members.
Mm.
And that was through my mom's job. You know, as a nurse, she was issuing pills up at Roosevelt Institute. She was issuing out pills to the kids who was going home on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So quite nice. And she asked him, well, where you from? Where you from? Where you from? Where's home for you? And she said, well, that's where my husband is from. Come find, we related to the girl.
Small world.
And my brother, my oldest brother that's living now, his uncle, my dad's uncle, we found out about him and he was able to go see him before he passed.
Okay.
So he was able to see him before he passed. So we went down to see him and stuff like that. But at the funeral, the man's son and my brother is identical. Everybody thought that was the man's son.
Wow.
They looked at just alike. Height, everything. Just alike.
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
Crazy.
It was crazy for us. Not only just the people who were there, because they kept asking, are you so-and-so's son? So, and that's how we found out some of his brothers. So I know that, so after the fact, after my dad passed, now one thing I did do, I always said that if my dad got sick, no matter how he treated us, I would always take care of him.
You're a different type of son.
I did that.
Yeah.
And that was some of the best times I've had with him.
When he was
sick.
Wow. Why is that?
Because we talked.
The
He wasn't
simplest
drunk.
thing. Wow.
He wasn't drunk. Now, to have a fifth grade education, my father was a very educated man in terms of life and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he worked at a furniture factory, and he was the only person that worked in that place who could operate every single machine that they had.
Mm.
Even the man on the plane couldn't do it.
Wow.
So they tolerated my dad. My dad would go to work drunk.
What age did your dad pass away at?
My dad was like, I think my dad was about 70.
So he lived a pretty good. Okay.
He lived a long time. He actually, I was there when he passed. He was at home because he said, "I want to go home.
Mm.
If I'm gonna die, I just want to go home. I want to die at home." And my mom brought him home.
So when he passed, what was your emotions and your thoughts on that? Because it sounded like towards the end of his life, y'all had some type of
yeah. I had some regrets of things that we didn't get to do, and sort of like why we couldn't have done this way back, you know.
Yeah.
And because I used to wear his wedding ring after he had passed, I used to wear his wedding ring. Now I love my dad. I just didn't like the way stuff he did. But I didn't really hate my dad like that.
Gotcha.
Because if I had, I never would have done nothing for him when he was sick.
Definitely.
But I went up, took care of him, checked on him, spent time with him. And I think I'm probably the only one that really did that other than my mom.
Oh, yeah. Out of all the people, just you and your mom.
Yeah, and they took up all his trace of drinking and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I always had said, though, no matter what he done, I'm going to take, if he gets sick, I will take care of him. I always said that. And I did that. But it was kind of tough. It was kind of tough. And, you know, after spending everything, all my brothers and stuff, you know, they come back, they go out on the back porch and they all drinking and carrying on. Business as usual.
So would you say seeing your dad drink so much drove you not to drink?
I drank when I was in high school some, but I never really, most of the time, I just couldn't drink like that. I couldn't do it. I gave up drinking beer because that was the thing back then, drinking beer. Then we started hearing about marijuana and stuff like that.
Oh, Mary Jane.
It wasn't that because we was in a rural area, so it wasn't real popular.
Gotcha.
Then, but we knew of it.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I would go to the club and stuff, but I wouldn't drink. But I would have a good time. I would have a natural high. But if my eyes were red, some folks swear I was drinking.
That's where you out of it.
No, I'm going to tell you mainly why I didn't drink. Because when I was hanging out with my friend, I designated myself as the driver.
Wow.
Because I didn't trust nobody to drive.
That's a way to control it.
I did. I did not trust anybody to drive me because everybody else was drinking.
Wow.
So I did the driving. Yeah. But, you know, and I think that's why I did so well with the fatherhood program and that's why God called me to men. Well, it is because of that, I think. That's what I believe.
So to bring it to the emotional, because I think we've dove deep into the emotional aspect of it, and and I want to bring it around because you said something in the beginning, how our emotions, to me, if not dealt with, can end our life as such. Or I think especially now, with stress being the way stress is, with anxiety being, I think they said, I think around a year about like COVID or something like that, I think it was listed as anxiety and stress being, besides COVID, one of the number one killers.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that top range. So that goes to me to show that emotions undealt with in anybody.
Yeah.
And I think especially if we're talking about the head of the household. Because if you take out the head of the household, then you get the rest of the body of the family.
Yeah.
Which I think is and I always say, the plans that the enemy and the trap that the enemy sets up is just, if you pay attention to them, and how most of everything is geared towards the downfall of men not dealing with their emotions. Don't cry. Stop acting like this. You know,
Stop being a wimp.
You know what I'm saying? Shut your mouth and take this beer. You know, we've been given so many bad tools to work with, but we get
every tool but the tool we need.
Exactly. And then tells us to build a house with it. Yeah. So I didn't know about none of the what I always say, emotional intelligence. Recognizing how you feel, what you're dealing with, and why you feel that way. I didn't get that until I got here up under some men that would say, hey, listen, the simplest thing is, it's okay to cry.
You'll be all right.
It's all right. It's okay to cry. Especially like as men, we need that permission to just at least feel.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We don't allow ourselves to feel.
And don't.
Because we've been told that we shouldn't do that. Because that's not being a man.
Yeah.
See, that's a bunch of hogwash.
I don't know what hogwash is, but it's a country thing.
It's a whole nother story. But it's just one of them sayings.
Well, as city people, we say that's a bunch of boo.
I had to dress it up a little bit. But, you know, your emotions, your feelings, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's important to deal with. It will literally, it can destroy you quicker than cancer.
Whoo! That says a lot.
It's like it eats you up. Because what you do is you keep piling stuff on top of it. Every time somebody do something to you, and you don't, the only way we know to express ourselves is use a gun or fight somebody. See, I believe a lot of these killings, if we took those same folk before they got to that point and deal with those feelings they got, man, you're not gonna punk me, man.
Right.
What is that? See, what is that? I mean, we use these terms, but what do they really mean?
Yeah.
And who you trying to convince?
Right.
That you're not.
Right. Right.
Somebody needs to be clear as you.
Right.
You know, but we try to convince other folks that we not this. So I think if we deal, and that's why when I did fatherhood, I always told them, I deal with emotions and feelings. If you can't do that, then you probably don't need to be here. Emotions and feelings, that's what we're going to have to deal with. Because I knew these guys coming in and the areas that they was coming from,
yeah,
I know what they were doing. I know some of them come straight out of prison to the program,
Got you.
out of jail or wherever they were. Their probation officer sent them, or parole officer sent them. You know, so these are folks who got major issues. And I always took those 2 weeks. We weren't required 2 weeks, but I wanted 2 weeks because my thing to them was, you know, first of all, if they're drinking regular and smoking regular, they ain't gonna be out of their system in no 30 days. We had to have them out of a job in 30 days. I said, what point is getting them a job and they can't keep the job?
Right.
I don't want to be doing that. Let's get them their minds and their hearts straight.
Yeah.
Then we can get a job.
So let's bring it home as we close out. Let's give the people some because I think we're going to continue in this vein of men being the provider, but this time we're going to give you the right tools.
Yeah.
So in closing, what can you say to somebody who is having difficulty dealing with not just, we have our emotions, but then we have everyday emotions?
Find somebody who can help you with your emotions. Who can see, because most of the time it's so many different ones, like you say. Everyday emotions, job emotions, home emotions, extended family emotions,
trust,
your own family emotion. And most times we try to sort stuff out in our head and it's impossible. We can't do it.
Yeah, it's impossible.
So you need somebody who you can talk to and help you sort out stuff. Because what you would do is you will find out that there's a common theme with what you're dealing with. So I recommend anybody who's feeling that way, whether you're not even real sure, if you think you might be, send us an email.
Please do. It'll be in the link.
And if you're not in this, we'll try to help you hook you up with somebody in your area. Or we can do it, you know, virtually if we have to. But I know, and I've had the experience of people being, of course, I didn't tell them to get off their medication for high blood pressure and stuff.
Got you.
But you go to your doctor. But a lot of them, you can relieve that stuff and not have to take this medication if you just deal with your feelings. You're carrying too much stuff. Emotional stuff is just, it's too deep.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't say I'll fix it myself, because you're not going to fix it. You ain't fixed it yet.
Facts.
So you're probably not going to fix it. So I would encourage anybody dealing with everyday stuff, home stuff, past stuff, find somebody to talk to. Listen, guys, you gotta find somebody that you can trust. It's somebody out there you can trust.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might not know for sure. You just gotta test the water. Y'all know how to do that. You test the water, you give them a little bit. See how they handle that.
Yeah.
But we provide confidentiality. Unless you're talking about hurting yourself, hurting somebody else, or somebody trying to hurt you, we're mandated reporter. We got to report that stuff. But we're going to let you know up front that's what we're going to do.
There'll be no surprise.
So it won't be no surprise to you. But I would recommend that.
And for me, as I sit here and in this chair in my Jesus shirt that I love so much, I was looking at you and this pillow caught my eye. And I'm like, in my head, because as we do these podcasts, I'm also in like production mode. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like, why is this pillow here, right? I'm like, I can't throw it because, you know, it's here now. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's been plenty of times where I wanted to just launch it, have my wife catch it or hit her with it. At the end of the day, that's what happens. But I was reading what's on it, and it says, enjoy the little things. And what I've learned from dealing with my emotions is celebrating the small milestones. I remember when I was like, I'm a year sober. And this was after dealing with my emotions. And when I felt like I had to have a drink, I felt like I had to have some type of the greatest weed in the world that'll make me just literally forget about everything. But after it was all said and done, those problems still waiting for me.
Yeah.
After you
After
you come to from being drunk, being high, whatever, it's like, okay, we just gonna pick up. Plus, we got 2 other people.
Yeah.
Since you was drinking, you created some other stuff, so we got more for you. So I went from a year to 2 years. 2 years, 5 years, 5 years, 6 years, 6 years, all the way to like 12 now. 12 years of just being sober. But it took me working the process.
Yeah, you got to work the process.
It took me getting around people who was willing to challenge me in my not just in my monthly walk, weekly walk, but my daily walk. Those who didn't mind calling me to the car, but like, let me talk to you real quick. You good? Like, I've never been checked up on that. Mm-hmm. Checked up like that since I got here. People like, you good? You all right? Man, I was just driving out and you just fell on my heart. And people just call. Mm-hmm. So now I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I do it. I love that whole thing. You doing to others as we doing to you, different other stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I do that now.
Yeah.
When I tell you, men, it is so important for you, number 1, to deal with your emotions. Number 2, celebrate these small things. Those small things, 9 times out of 10, will lead to bigger and greater things.
Yeah.
Because what you do, you pass on to your youth, you pass on to your sons, you pass on to those who are
your
watching
daughters
you,
too.
your everything. Men, we are the heads of the table right now. And that's why the table is crumbling, because we're not in position. Yeah. And number 1 thing to me that I've noticed, that us as men, we haven't been given permission to deal with our emotions and also understand.
Well, we give you permission today.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The link is in the description below. Join us for our P2C, which is permission to change. It's a safe place. We're going to start doing video calls. We already have a few people who have signed up already. And we're probably going to start really launching this thing in probably like the next couple weeks. So if you're really serious about this thing, if you want a space where you are literally able, I'm talking able to be free to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things that have been troubling you at night as you sleep, and that's keeping you up. Because I was one of those people who couldn't fall asleep unless I had some type of melatonin, unless I had some type of this. Mm-hmm. So my men, I tell you now, check out the link in the description. And if you know us personally and you've seen this, reach out to us and say, I would like to be a part of that. And then we will move forward from that. But for now, I'm Mr. Mo.
And I'm Pops.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Don't forget, contact us.
Definitely overcome and rise. We got it.
I can't let it go by. I waited my whole life for a chance like this. It's getting, I know why. I waited my whole life for a chance like this. I can't let it go by. my season. This my